England hold on by the skin of their teeth to win 3-2 at the Azteca against Mexico. They had a man sent off. It was an entertaining game, end to end. It went this way and that, but eventually England take their place in the quarterfinals and do what no team has ever done before at the World Cup and beat Mexico at the Azteca Stadium. Troy, I've got to come to you first.
Yep.
How are you feeling now about this performance in the immediate aftermath?
Very mixed emotions, a lot of positives. For this studio, it's the best result and best game we could have had. I think the Mexicans will leave this knowing that they gave everything, pushed England right to the edge, and they can take a lot of positives from the game. From England's point of view, loads of mental ticks, togetherness, yes. Go through adversity, yes. Dig it in, yes. Play at altitude, all the things that we've heard before. Tick, 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 tick.
Delay,
yeah. For me, it leaves me saying, yes, great. Looking ahead, bigger picture. None of my original concerns have been answered. We've still not controlled a game. We've still relied on three moments from two individuals. Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane. We knew that at the start of the show. But we ticked a lot of boxes. We got through. It wasn't pretty by any stretch. But maybe the group now, to Ian's point off air, maybe the group feel better for it. If I'm Norway, I'm like, OK, let's go to work. Because I don't think Norway sit back and go, I don't think any performance so far has A, made England fans feel like we're going to win the World Cup, and B, has made any team who's about to face us, including Mexico, say, oh, we're playing the mighty England. It's like, hey, they're good, but we can get at them. So mixed emotions for right now.
Janelli, given the fact that England did have 10 men for over 35 minutes of that game and Mexico were pushing and pushing and pushing for the last part of it, are you sitting here as a Mexico fan thinking we should have got it at least to extra time there?
Well, first off, congrats to England. Well-deserved win. That was.
I bet you're a much better person than me because I would never have said that to you.
That was what I was impressed by, was how they were playing a man down almost the entire second half, and didn't seem like it. Like, in terms of character and grit,
yeah.
you talked about that before. You said they were lacking that character, but to me they showed that, and they made it very, very difficult for Mexico. I think for Mexico it was an impressive performance. Their initial reaction to being down 2-0, their response was great. And I think it was the best thing that could have happened to them in the first half. They put themselves back in the game. They started off the second half strong. After going down 3-1, they get the penalty kick. Raul Jimenez puts Mexico back in the game again. So I think there was constant moments of hope. Yeah. I was hopeful the entire game, especially at the very end when it was Mexico completely dominating in possession. I think it was a combination of, yes, England defended really well. There were moments where players were throwing their head on the line, slide tackling in front of their own goal, which is great, especially as a defender. I can appreciate that. But I think it was also a bit of Mexico's frustration in really being desperate and looking for that perfect cross, that the quality in their services just completely went down the drain. It was just, it went from, I think, a 5-star performance in the first half in terms of services to the second half. It was a completely different type of quality for Mexico. And that was difficult to watch because I think they didn't know how to manage those emotions because they had time. Mexico only needed one clear opportunity to tie the game and then take the game into extra time. And they didn't know how to manage that. So it is that, from that perspective, it is frustrating. It was also frustrating hearing the fans yell the homophobic chant. It's very, very, very frustrating. It's very sad. We have a lot of work to do to make that better.
Ian, I wanted to get your perspective, sort of unbiased here. Troy and I, obviously, we've been watching England as England fans, and we are...
How are we asking a Scotsman to be unbiased?
No, what I'm saying
about England?
What I'm saying here...
The game's gone.
Okay,
he's got his analyst hat on.
But I'm saying, as England fans, given what we've seen over the many years, you can't help but feel jaded. And even when we've won a game and done what no team in world football has ever done inside the Azteca, you immediately migrate towards the negatives. It's just what we do as England fans. But tell me it wasn't that bad.
Listen, from an American-born Scotsman, that was a hell of a game to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that both teams would lose that game because of my hatred towards both teams. But I have so much admiration for what both teams did in that game. The spectacle they just gave us, the game that they gave us. There will be a lot of negativity from both camps, obviously, after that game. But the actual spectacle itself, it had absolutely everything. There were goals, there was drama, there was penalty kicks, shocking refereeing decisions, good refereeing performances. There was fights on the field, there was battles, there was a lot of nonsense going on in that game, but it gave us drama that we really wanted. And to me, this was as good as it gets in the World Cup. Lacking a bit of quality from both teams when it comes to offensive, controlling the game, defensive mistakes. I was slightly disappointed with that from both sides. But at the same time, it's hard not to sit back and enjoy it. As a neutral, what it was, it gave us a lot of drama, and I could see it from both of these guys' points of view. I mean, there was a lot of passion in this room watching that game from a lot of people who didn't really care who won this game. But this was a real good spectacle, and I think both nations should be incredibly proud by the performance, the effort. It was a lot of heart in that game, but little to no quality throughout the whole course of the game.
Troy, let's focus on some of the individual performances for England. Let's start with Harry Kane. Didn't actually get that much service, did he, in the first half? We talked about that at half-time. And in the second half, he took the opportunity with the penalty. It was a brilliant pen, despite the keeper going the right way. And then he showed that he knows how to be a team player, and he came off the pitch, didn't he? Was that the right call?
I think it was the right call for Harry to come off. I wasn't too impressed with Morgan Rogers coming on. I wanted us to have a little bit more in midfield, maybe a Kobe Mainoo, a Jordan Henderson type, and then put Gordon through the middle like Newcastle have done over the time. But Harry steps up in the big moments, and we was talking as that was developing. And it took me back to the Brazil game very, very quickly, because it's like, big moment, you want your best player taking it. You want that reliability. And obviously, Vini Jr. decided to let Bruno Guimaraes take it, who's took four penalties in his career, and he's 50-50. He scored 2, he's missed 2. In that moment, I actually said in this room, and a few people were like, oh, don't jinx it. When Harry Kane's taking a penalty, I don't care if he misses. Because the one thing he does, he takes it with conviction. And he knows I'm going this side and I'm going. And if I miss, I miss. But he can live with the decision. And I can live with the fact that he's positive in his decision. And obviously, he's not going to score all of them. You know, fit back to France, in Qatar, he misses. But so what?
But he stepped up.
He steps up, he does it. Jude Bellingham will get a lot of credit as well, because he was fantastic.
Yeah.
One person, me and Ian both agree, had a fantastic game. And the stats won't agree with it. The untrained eye won't agree with it. But if you've played the game, you will agree with this 100%. Anthony Gordon was a beast today.
He was unreal.
Defensively, he was helping out every time, tracking back. Took us up the pitch when we needed to. Is there moments he could be better? Absolutely. Every player will go, oh, could I have done this better? He was a beast. And ultimately, when you look through the whole team, you have to say everyone was roughly 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Everyone. And then obviously the 2 sprinkles of Bellingham and Kane, they go up to the 9s for that little piece that they added. But again, the right back situation we said was a problem before the game.
Red card for you?
It is, yeah. I think it's unlucky, because obviously he makes the tackle, he hits the top of the ball, which forces the leg to go up. But in today's game, yes, that's a red card, and there's no arguments. There was no arguments in this room. But now Gerald Quansah's out. Now who goes in? There's no Reece James. So
Thomas Tuchel.
So now we're going to have to go, do, which is put Quansah at right back or Jed Spence at right back, and we see the problems that he's had. So it leaves me proud that we got the job done and we did it in the most English way possible, which was make it as hard as we can for ourselves. But it leaves me thinking, if we are being really serious, and I've been told, this is not my opinion, I've been told by England, when we hired Thomas Tuchel, it's to win the World Cup. So I'm looking at it through a lens of, that's what you told me we're trying to do.
Are you the best team at the World Cup, though?
No, absolutely not.
No, you're not.
No.
But can't you just take pride in these types of moments, though?
We're not Scotland. We're not just happy to participate.
I understand. No, but you are. You just won. No one's ever won at the Azteca in a World Cup game against Mexico.
Great.
No one's ever won.
We're not competing with Mexico. We're not competing with Mexico.
You just did something that no one else has done.
Great. So what? Somebody else will do it next. I don't care. I'm saying this is what they told me. The FA told me, Thomas Tuchel told me, he was brought in to win the World Cup, right? Their words, not mine. So in one game throughout this, can you tell me a performance that we can say, I get it. Not one performance.
You can still win the World Cup without being at your very best, though.
Who's done that?
I mean, there's been plenty of teams who have actually won it.
Yeah, but not played their best.
Very best. I mean, safe to say Argentina weren't at their best every single game. Last time, Messi
I just said one game. Yeah. Give me one game. That last game again in the World Cup final,
Troy,
that was unreal.
That performance right there, and obviously as a neutral I'm speaking, yeah. I don't have my passion in this one, so I can feel your energy. There was a lot I actually learned about this England team watching it. The way they defended for 30 minutes, 35 minutes with 10 players, every single player fighting for one another. Dan Burn coming on, winning headers, challenges. Jed Spence, one incredible challenge in the penalty area. Yeah. I mean, even Jude Bellingham, the way he continued to run until he couldn't run anymore. The goalkeeper, Pickford, I mean, he makes me nervous because of some of the decisions he makes, but he made a couple of fabulous saves. Stones, when he came off the bench, I mean, there's a lot of small wins there that I think that you can build towards a World Cup success. That against top teams like France, if you catch them on an off day, with that team being united like they just showed us, I think...
Are they more united than Norway?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I think England, after that performance...
They're more united than Norway?
I think that performance right there tells us that England are well and truly believing that they can win this World Cup.
I wanted to get your perspective as well on Thomas Tuchel. I know, as Troy said, he was brought in to win the World Cup for England, what we've been waiting since 1966 to do. He came here with a game plan. Not everything went his way. He had to deal with adversity. I know England led in the game, but then they had to deal with Mexico coming back at the end of the first half, the red card, all of the rest of it in the second half. We've got to say that this is Thomas Tuchel being able to lead his... I almost think of a ship going through a storm on the ocean. He did get to his destination in the end, although he had to come through a hell of a storm.
That's a really good way to put it.
Lost half the cargo.
I get.
We got there.
I get what you're saying. I get it. You want your team to win playing pretty football, convincing football.
I want them to show me one performance that I can go, that's who we are.
But if they want,
I think today, as being a obviously non-England supporter, from an outsider looking, I hadn't been convinced with England at all. But today, I thought, I don't know if they'll be World Cup champions, but I think they have a solid chance. I think the way football has evolved, it's so different now. And today they show that they can defend being a player down like that. They're so committed. And then you have two players in Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham who can win games for you.
Yeah.
Any other team in the world would die to have two players like that. And they're consistent. And they can do it despite any circumstance.
And that was what was lacking from Mexico today.
Mexico doesn't have that.
No, I agree. But do you know why that argument then gets countered? Because what are you frustrated with? The fact that Mexico were very one-dimensional in the attacking third. So when we talk about how great England defended, what do we actually have to defend? Balls getting crossed in from deep. That's it. We put on a centre-back who's 6'5", so we should be heading it. We put on another centre-back who's 6'3", should be heading it. So I'm not saying that we haven't ticked a load of boxes.
You scored 3 goals.
No, I'm not disputing that. Again, this is the bit where you guys are going, we scored 3 goals. I'm answering one question and we're changing the question. Yeah. The question is, we showed defensive resilience from crosses coming in the box. That's not a massive tick to me. That is basic defending. There was no intricate play from Mexico, hence why you're frustrated. There was nobody in there pulling the strings. There was no one doing little slip passes. It was a constant volume of cross after cross after cross.
That they should deal with.
That they should deal with. And it's a big tick because, well done, you handled the atmosphere, you handled the adversity.
I get where you're going this. Better opposition, if that's a France where they have the quality.
If that's an Argentina, if that's a...
Even Norway's going to put up...
Yeah, that's my point. But it goes into 2 fronts. Can I be happy with right now? Yes, well done. But can I be also level-headed and be...
You want more?
Which is what I feel people want. Because the one thing I hate about watching analysts on TV, play a game and they go super high. Oh, we're going to win it all, we're going to win it all. And then we lose and it's like, oh, my God, sack everybody. But can we just be measured? Our job, I feel, is to be measured. What we've shown so far is that we can do what are the basics. We can dig in and we can do that.
I think we
have not managed one game with the ball yet.
I think we all agree with you there, Troy, that there is more to come from this England team, right? There was a very, very good individual performance from Gordon today.
Yeah.
He showed an incredible amount of patience and possession of the ball. He went up against Sanchez, sort of wound him up a little bit, showed a bit of quality going forward. His heart, his effort, the way he ran back and fought for the team, that was outstanding to me. Jude Bellingham continuously, to me, is the absolute leader of this group. Now, I know Harry Kane gets all the credit, and Harry Kane, but he was non-existent for a large part of this game. Having that type of a player and that type of a personality that never says die, he goes into every single battle, he'd be the first one I'd have on the team sheet, Jude. Because he can come up with those moments of magic that win you game. The goals were brilliant, right? And it was so quick how it happened. But he offers so much more, Jude. Just that attitude, that fight, that desire, that commitment. He's everything what I think really is a leader.
I agree with you. I know you were like concerned about his yellow, and early on you thought it would be best to get him off the pitch, but he needed to be on the field.
Great.
If you take him off the pitch, Mexico has an even better chance of tying that match.
Yeah. I much prefer him on the pitch for the whole of the Norway game. Yeah. So that's the balance, right?
He handled the discipline.
He did.
Well, though,
and I also thought that was one thing that Thomas Tuchel did really well. When he put on Morgan Rogers, he threw Jude up front and was like, I know you'll run around, but do it up there.
Yeah.
Don't
get yourself into trouble back
don't
here.
Dive into anything. Don't give us a tackle. Look, many positives, but I still watched every game so far, closely and passionately, as you can see. I haven't seen what are we. What's our DNA? What's our identity? What have we been working on? I haven't seen it.
Fair.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so like
that's true.
In between on everything. Because it's like, it was good, but also it was bad. So I sound negative, but I promise you I'm not. I just don't know what it is.
It's positive because there's more to come from the group, right? But Thomas Tuchel, by the way, some of the substitutions he made, albeit sometimes confusing, he got it absolutely.
Got it right today.
And Mexico got it wrong, I think.